And a very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bendat Basketball Stadium here in Perth. My name is Mark Gorham, and joining me is Davin Hunt on commentary for our round 9 men's reserves matchup
There's so many rounds.
There have been a few rounds, but between South Australia and Queensland. A very interesting game we've got on our hands. This is the last round before our finals, so both these teams in contention. It's a hotly contested division, as it is every year, so really looking forward to see how this one plays out.
Yes, Mark, it's going to be a very interesting game today. Last year's games were fantastically close.
And we were obviously involved in both, yourself as a coach and myself as a player in this team.
Yeah, no, I think we went 1-1 last year, so we'll just leave that's last year's.
We did, and the Queensland-South Australia game is very hotly contested in this division. Certainly in my time, games have been. I know there was a prelim final in 2018 that was decided by, I think, 4 or 5 goals that went to Queensland. And last year, I think there was a 6-goal and a 1-goal margin. So expect this one to be tight. And it is a mini-final in itself. South Australia, I believe, sitting 4th on the ladder. Queensland 7th. However, it is a top 4 that go through to finals. And there are 4 teams that are contesting that 3rd and 4th position. So as we're getting waves from the Queensland bench, I will run through the South Australian starting lineup. So in goal shooter, we have Alec Davis. In goal attack, Luke Humphreys. In wing attack, Jalen Newchurch. In centre, Tyson Jerry. In wing defence, Steve McInnes. In goal defence, Jeff Zammit. And in goalkeeper, Matthew Spur. Davin, the Queensland lineup for us.
The Queensland lineup is goal shooter Zach Dunphy. Goal attack, Stacey Adams. Wing attack is Jordan Day. Centre, Colby Sturgis. Wing defence, Patrick Griffin. Goal defence, Jared Thompson. And goalkeeper, Ryan Freestone.
No worries, as we have a South Australian centre pass to get us underway as that ball's handed over, and we're off. So first centre pass received by Humphreys, just struggling to get over that transverse line initially. Obstruction call, I believe, so Zammit will send it forward.
The first obstruction call, just to find out where the parameters are from the umpires always, I say.
And Davis, lovely shot with Davis. He is a rock there in goal shooter. I know, having played with him last year and being more of a feeding goal attack myself, it's so much fun to play with, and that basketball background, very nice and steady. As we see a turnover straight away, and South Australia wasting no time driving the ball down the court. All down the sideline though, would like to see them switch, and just on cue we've got Jeff Zammit, the former Open men's player from 2022. Opening it up, Newchurch on the circle, nice swing ball, or probably could have given that one to the chest.
Yep.
Hesitated on the give there,
yes,
Jerry.
And just with the shooter making the error and the footwork there.
Steve McInnes coming through offside, umpire did see it. So Steve McInnes, our veteran of the team, has been around, I'm going to say this, an eternity. He is my indoor Australian coach, so I'm sure he'll just make me run more laps. But
the evergreen, Steve McInnes. I told him I'd say that too. So
we do have a laugh that he did retire, but he does say it's from the Opens division, so here he is in reserves. But solid as always, very steady. And we see a basketball style from long range, just missing and bobbling out, and it's a South Australian turnover.
Yeah, Stacey Adams' first year in the team for Queensland Reserves this year.
Jalen Newchurch just not staying within the parameters of the court there. So Jalen Newchurch coming up from our under-23s division as the former captain there, making his way into this men's reserves team. So I'm expecting a bit of a zippy mid-court at the moment, certainly in the attack end between Jerry and Jalen. Similar styles of play, very quick, very elusive. One matchup maybe you can talk through for us, Davin, for you guys I have a bit of interest in is Colby Sturgis in centre. So a South Australian himself, typically, and he was in this men's reserves team with me in 2019, 2020, those cancellation years, if you like. Was a circle defender, so he's obviously made the transition into mid-court. Yeah,
we've got, he played opens last year. Had a nice tournament from all accounts. But we've always a bit of struggling through the mid-court in our selections. But there's a few new people, so Colby moving into that is not a stretch of the imagination to do that. Yeah. It's nice and solid, good footwork, very defensive-minded, so more of a defensive centre.
Absolutely. So we see South Australia just struggling to get at circle edge. We did see Davis come out the circle and release. Don't mind him. He will move a bit, Davis, but He is in there with the other tall in Luke Humphreys, who's come up from the 23s. I expect Davis to be the rock in there.
He was there last year.
He was there, I think me and Alec played a lot of time on court together last year.
Yes.
More than my old body probably could cope with, but we got there in the end. So here we see tight defence here by South Australia. I know they're playing a box defence there. I know Michael O'Brien, that's one of certainly one of his ways of defending, so excellent there to hold them up. However, Queensland able to penetrate it, and
so it is a fairly new. Wow, it's a nice little fadeaway.
He's off balance for a 2-all score.
But it's a fairly new attack space for us this year. Stacey Adams, goal attack, and Jordan Day, both debutants for Queensland this year. And Jared Thompson in goal defence is also a debutant.
Fantastic.
His son plays in the under-23s, Maya Thompson, goal
shooter. That would make sense. I know Maya speaks to a couple of our South Australian boys and is good friends with them, having played in the Australian sort of 23s tomorrow. Last year, sorry, not tomorrow. I'm getting ahead of myself with selection. I know nothing, I promise.
I'm really interested in Spur and Dunphy.
Spur and Dunphy, yeah. So those two had a good battle last year, didn't they? And Matty Spur did spend a year in our Opens program. Didn't get to take the court in Opens because of a COVID cancellation. Finds himself as a solid keeper in the reserves division. As we see the swing ball, that ball just had to go into space and be given straight away. And we see one overshooting. So
I see the defenders have come back there and they play that split circle then beautifully. Freestone came off. Jared picked up. Just that confusion in the circle.
As we see contact given by Jerry. So Paddy Griffin, I've had some battles with him over the year, generally playing that wing defence, goal defence position. Unfortunately, we've had some jokes. We've just missed each other on court the last couple of years. He didn't play last year. I think he was getting married, and I'm not playing this year. So unfortunately, we didn't have that last hurrah that we kept talking about. But I've certainly had some good times with him as opposing captains of this team. As we see Queensland break the South Australian centre pass and going 3-2 up. Pretty low scoring, I must say. As we see Spur coming out and hunting just a second late with that timing. He will do that. They need to be careful of that cross-court ball.
Yeah, it was good timing. He was unfortunately just running out a bit of space in his third that he's only allowed to go into.
And there we see there. So Matt Spur does have elevations, as I was saying before. Was in the Opens program, and we see a quick transition, which is what I would expect from this zippy mid-court. Just need to identify the feeds and look, and there, as we see that circle open up. Unfortunately, Davis just a bit off his shot there, an unusual miss early.
Freestone had good rebound position because that was definitely going long off the hand.
Now Freestone, another soon-to-be teammate of mine actually in the Australian indoor team, set to contest the World Cup in Brisbane in August. Certainly was a strong player in the indoor scene. A stalwart of this team, is he, Davin?
Yes, he's been there. Well, he sort of came into a bit late, and this is only his second year playing in the open arena. But he was very good for us, very good for me last year with the there.
And we see a couple of missed shots from under the ring. We can't afford to miss them.
No.
As we see Zamet driving it out. Watch Zamet and McInnes. Nice connection to get that ball out. And I've been liking how they're linking with Jerry and Newchurch here. Just struggling to get the feeds in and just struggling to get the timing of those shooters there to get the ball in. We see that now as Davis comes forward and rolls that one in.
Nice 3-all, solid start from both teams. Nothing flashy.
And we
beautiful work there by Paddy Griffin. Yes, he's not going to get that call.
He's not. He was on the inside position, so bad luck. I feel like South Australia a couple of times just ignoring their goal attack in Luke Humphreys, especially on centre passes or options in the circle. So hopefully they can work him into the game. He certainly needs to be worked into the game because Davis will cop the attention of the Queensland defenders. So 4-3, we're back on centre passes here. Nice quick ball movement to get it into that middle corridor.
Yeah, nice ball there, but I hit the top of the circle. Nice triangle there. And Zach, generally, after those two uncharacteristic misses, shouldn't do that often again, I hope. No bias at all.
So that ball there, just having to be pushed. Lucky to get away with that. Could have been a contact call, but must step through the ball. Now, if we're going to swing, Davis needs to be a target straight away. Can't rely. Either he needs to present that front option or screen back onto Freestone to present in the back space. At the moment, South Australia swinging the ball and just struggling. It should triangle straight into a shooter. So if I was Michael O'Brien or Coach Aaron Admead, I'd be telling Humphreys in goal attack, if that ball swings and here's that front option, he needs to hold his space or roll back onto that goalkeeper so Alec Davis can come through for the front space and he will have that front hold at the post.
Queensland struggling with their second phase. They're getting out nicely off the centre pass, just not finding that second phase connection here.
And here's that swing that we were talking about. Struggling to get through there. Oh, he doesn't mind a long bomb. Oh, rebound followed. Oh, and an offensive contact called on Dumphy and Shooter, as we see.
Well, they will battle it all day.
They
It'll be
will.
60 minutes of a bit of this and a bit of this.
Bruising affairs. I see this transition now. This is where better position there. And if they can get that right, South Australia, they're looking good in their transition out. And especially when you've got the experience of Zama and McInnes to drive the ball out, the zippiness of Jerry and Newchurch, just that connection into the circle.
I think it's just of who settles first at the moment. There's a few mistakes here and there, but nothing that's alarmingly worrying for both teams at this stage.
Absolutely. So we just have a moment here to take our breath as we reset the penalty. It's a 6-4 score to South Australia, so circle edge penalty, this should be a score. Don't know if that was the right option when one was presenting, but end result goal, it worked. It's a simple game when it's 2-on-1 in there. One shooter front, one shooter back. The front option should always be the easy option. And, yep.
Nice attempt there.
And it's a South Australian ball. So anything loop into that pocket, Zamet will contest.
And I see umpires today, Brooke Quilter and Morgan Dick, they've been around quite a while, and so Brooke down this side will let that fair contest go.
Excellent. So here we see and there's better rotation in that circle. Nice split by Humphreys, and he is on the board. So I should mention Zama, also a teammate of mine and Freestones in that Indoor World Cup.
Right.
So there's a few out here.
Is that in Brisbane?
It is up in Brisbane, up in Darra Indoor Sports Centre, I believe, in August. So exciting for that one. Just see, open the channel up. So I want to see Humphreys there look at the post then before he just looks laterally. That's a better place ball and well contested by Davis to score.
And
so
beautiful strong hands from Davis there.
They're starting to get that connection into attack, South Australia, and we see that score 9-4. As we mentioned, this is a final in a way. It's an important game.
Yeah, we can certainly be a fly in the ointment today of South Australia. Nice pass there by Adams. Geary going to get called for swinging too short there. Distance-wise, not height-wise. They're all taller than me nowadays.
I'm always the shortest in a circle, Dylan. I'm at 5'10". I've yet to play on someone shorter than me at this level.
Newchurch he's got it over Paddy at the moment. It's a good contest, but Newchurch using his speed.
And I think, and this is the one that needs to go straight in. Unfortunately, Humphreys just needs to take that drive. We need to get something set up on that rotation, especially when that ball swings from 45 to 45 on that circle. South Australia just struggling with that, just catching that inside the middle third and patiently coming through. We'll look for Griffin to be that steady settling option. I believe a former captain of this team, and he has represented Australia at men's reserves level before on a couple of tours, one to Papua New Guinea and I believe another one possibly to New Zealand in 2018.
Yes, well, Queensland have made an early change. Williams to wing attack, day off. I think Coach Maxine Holzberger is just looking for a bit more punch through that transverse attacking line there.
Yeah. So just that battle between Griffin and Newchurch. I suspect Paddy probably doesn't want to get in a running race with Jalen, and similarly, Jalen doesn't want to get on the body with Paddy. So interesting to see how this one plays out. There are certainly strengths. Here we see something set up. Not quite.
Nice touch there. Ooh, nice touch by Paddy and then come off Chelsea Gilbert.
I probably didn't see it that way, but we'll move on. Might have something to do with my red coloured shirt, but that's okay. It's okay.
I'm a bit closer to this end, and I'll leave the other one to you there.
No problem. As we see Steve McInnes, I've got a saying, the ball knows sometimes, and here we go. We see South Australia back in, and nice pop forward by Davis. Correct. I may have almost gotten in trouble a couple of times saying that as a coach on the sideline, but we'll move on. So we're out to 10-5 here in the last couple of minutes. Nice direct play. Oh, choosing to reset. He was in shooting. Oh, and we see Griffin calling to the bench. He's done something to his back here.
Okay.
He's really struggling to move, so I think we're going to see a change.
Which is a real shame, because maybe I was thinking maybe he might be able to go back into goal defence there, but...
Absolutely. I've had many battles with him in that goal defence, goal attack position, so he's just looking to the bench. I think he's going to ride this one out. There is someone in the substitution box, so we'll just see how... Wait for this play to play out. Obviously don't want to come off just yet.
So Matt Bibo with the wing defence bib on there. Going to take off his best mate and probably just tell him about it later.
As we see South Australia pull away to a 12-5 lead. Tell us, what are the Queensland shooting options here? Because we've got two options. One, I mean, the goal attack there, prepared to shoot long, but has probably missed a few. His radar's been off, and Dumpy's that strong target, so good to have there, but we need to make sure, as we see an offensive contact there, I just feel that they need maybe a bit more punch in that shooting circle.
I think wing attack. I think the change with Williams coming on, and I think there might be a change coming on for Adams, and James Schmar has got the goal attack bib over there. He played defence last year, but has been playing a bit of goal attack this year.
Yeah. Just as we do that, we just see that ball spill over the top.
Nice.
So we've got options to go into that.
Yeah, I think you'll find Zach will probably play the whole game.
Yep.
Big strong target there.
And that's what he needs to do to get this team back into this game, as we see the last 30-odd seconds of the game. Nice patient build-up. There's Humphrey. So they've doubled back on Davis. Now, he did open up then and wasn't seen, and there we see that movement, that baseline drive, good, as Davis presents front. Humphrey's just off his shot, but Davis collects, and...
Thompson just getting caught ball watching there, had his back to the play as it unfolded in front of him.
So here we see we've got 14 seconds. There's a lot of noise coming from the South Australians trying to get the ball down the court, and we see a held ball. Fantastic work. So they need to move it here.
Yes, 4 on the clock. I don't think there's going to be enough time.
No.
And I believe that will be quarter time.
That will be it. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. 13-6 to South Australia. Come out the gate storming. As always, between these two, we expect a tightly contested contest. So stay tuned. We'll join you for the second quarter. And welcome back to the Bender Basketball Stadium, ladies and gentlemen. We are on court 3 of this men's reserves round 9 matchup. We have South Australia leading 13-6, just as the players take their place on court. AMMNA Championships 2023, proudly supported by Bladen WA, Great Temptations, Sweet Treats, Spudshed, West Coast Fever, and Netball WA. I'm joined by Davin Hunt here on commentary as we are getting started in this second quarter. We see the South Australian centre pass, Newchurch, just not placing that into the space of McInnes, and a nice hand in front by Williams as he looks to reset.
A few changes there by Queensland. Tim O'Rourke, the captain of the team this year, is into centre, and Luke Miles into goal defence. And other than that, no changes. Matt Barbo came on late.
And for South Australia, we've got Tyson Jerry, who is off on the bench, and replacing him is Justin Lobb. Justin's first, I believe, nationals here. As we see that shot, they just have to sink when you're that far behind, but good clean up there. And all of a sudden, we are back to a 5-goal game on a South Australian centre pass. So Justin Lobb, expect a bit the same of him, a nice speedy mid-court. And we see both mid-court as they're running into the same space. We need someone to punch into that pocket. Humphreys goes there, but not used, and we've got a held ball.
Isn't it funny? You don't make the extra effort, you're not going to get rewarded with those the movements for the player that has the ball.
Yeah, so just want to see someone punch out there. We see sort of Lobb and Newchurch just taking a few moments. It's a new combination there. It has been run a couple of times this tournament, but just getting in each other's space there and leaving a lot of empty space that wasn't filled by one of our shooters. As we see that nice little dinky shooter-to-shooter pass, and we see Dumpy over the top, nice strong over the top of Zammit.
2 hands to the ball on that one, got the call off the umpire.
And there's that that's a very Queensland thing, that cute little short, sharp pass, shooter to shooter. Yeah. It's a very indoor thing to do, but I noticed the Queenslanders were doing it a lot last year. I like it too, don't get me wrong.
And it just takes spur out of the game when you're talking about the elevation that he has.
Absolutely, and I know myself, I'm coaching the 17s. I've got sort of 3 shooters there, and they're not the tallest of lads, one in particular, but they just play the low ball, and it's very hard to stop. Still able to score 50, 60 a game. As we see a missed shot there, highly contested. However, Dumpy going straight up, spur into his space, so contact called.
Another contact on Zammit there, just fighting for position. Sometimes just let it go. They're just fighting for the same position.
It's very close to a held ball, but Matt Spur just not holding his 3 there, and the goal scored. So 10-13, some changes working here as we are 2.5 minutes in. And that's a better drive by Humphreys. I like that drive. Unfortunately, right now we're seeing a lot of the South Australians 3 players in that short space in that pocket. What's the setup here by our SA goalers? Both standing high together, waiting for someone to roll. They're both a bit of dance moves there. Both sort of twisted the shoulders a bit. And feeding out, and the option over the top. So Newchurch with a quick release. That is one of his strengths. He will release the ball, seize it, and release straight away.
Yeah, I did watch him play in the 23s last year. I thought he was very solid.
Yes,
very solid.
So I've had some time in our South Australian Men's League playing with Jalen Newchurch. He was as our wing attack and myself as goal attack. So we've got a bit of a combination there. As we see, Spur get a hand in. Must have come off the foot or the hand of Dumpy there.
Williams' wing attack has made a slight difference for Queensland here.
Great roll and... Sorry.
Yeah, no, quite right. And McInnes is going to be chasing Andrew Williams around the court here for a while.
So we see both shooters out the circle. One needs to get in. Now they're both in. Well done by Lobb just to reset that. Punch in.
Lovely drive to the top. Reset option was fantastic, and then rewarded from McInnes by hitting the top from Lobb there. It's great.
It should be a feed. There we go. Was a feed. Still like to see that pushed out to a bit more space, if I dare say so myself. But end result goal. So 15-10.
That little coaching from the sideline, I see.
That is it's just a specialty goal attack move. I love it. Yeah. Instruction call coming eventually. So what's the setup here? Oh, Davis getting low, lucky. And nice shot. So when Davis is on, he is on, and he's really a rock for this team in terms of his shooting. It's very rarely off. that lovely high it's high arcing. It's a bit of a quick release basketball shot, but certainly effective.
I see South Australia drop back into that zone, that box defence here. Schmar's actually come on as goal attack. He'll be a pass first option.
And right on cue. And we're going the little pass. Now, I know Zamet will be very onto that. He is used to it as that defender, and we do.
Good ball.
He has spent his time playing on people back home that do that a bit.
Yeah. Nice ball there from Williams into the space.
So we've got Newchurch restarting us here. We have Lob seeing that. Now we're punching with depth. Would like to see that pushed a little bit further to get Lob completely on the circle, as we see a nice on and off the circle there. There's a lot of passes going on, but eventually we're there. And there's Davis on that shot. Solid as always.
Yeah, he's just dribbling over the front at the moment. Don't think he's quite found it coming off the hand just yet, but as you said, if it goes in, that's all that matters.
That's all. Oh, this could be a replay call. Yeah.
And Timmy just throws the ball away just to give himself a bit more time to get into defensive position in the midcourt.
Okay, so what's the setup here? So we see a split. Nice hands there by the goal attack of Queensland.
And I see Dunphy and Spur even out of the circle, just having a little bit of push on the transverse line there.
And that was Davis slightly off, but Humphreys, that's the advantage of two tools. Oh, Humphreys off as well. Just take a breath, and there we go, shot in. So advantage of two tools, good chance of rebounds, and a nice sideline transition there.
Yeah, Queensland came out hard the second quarter, but South Australia have certainly settled now. Got down to 3 or 4 goals, it's now back up to 7, 18, 11. So they've certainly found their footing again towards the second half of this second quarter.
We see the opposite corridor, or Lob keep driving into that pocket. Now we're both off the circle. Get yourself on, Jay. There's a nice swing. Now what's the setup here? Both shooters going to the ball.
Missed the first option.
That's well recovered and well done. Well picked up by Bebo there. That's it. Even though South Australia are up, I would say that's probably our big thing. We just need to get right. The movement of the shooters in there just seems like they're both moving. There's not a lot of cohesion. Perhaps a screen could be thrown in. Perhaps the typical post and front sweeping of a goal attack, or either shooter really, can be utilised there.
Great defensive pressure to push Queensland to the side there with that long ball. Putting the ball into a spot that they want them to go, not where Queensland need to be.
And over the top. Nicely placed pass, good followed by Davis. A nicely placed pass by Newchurch. Davis follows his shot. Fair bit of noise coming from the South Australian bench. They are up and about. They know the importance of this game. And looks like there's going to be a substitution as we see Josh Searle in the wing defence position. I dare say that it will be for Steve McInnes. I dare say that might be to rest some legs. Steve's had a lot of court time this week, and as the score goes out, a great contest by Spur there, probably forcing that one in off circle edge.
Yeah, I had James Schmar down in the corner here, easy 1-2. Nice touch there by Bibo. And that change for South Australia has been made. Steve McInnes sucking in the big ones over there on the bench.
He's a very steady hand, Steve McInnes. And adds a great deal of experience to this team, as we see Davis. So the lead here is pushed out to 9. So 2011, Newchurch to get us restarted here. Over to Lob, and using that middle corridor, that's better play to get a bit of depth. Using the corridors, probably just needed. And Davis could always tell he was going to miss that. The balk, and then the rush second attempt. That's okay, he'll get it back. He's been a hot hand for a while now.
Really nice compression defence there. And I'm going to say it, lucky to get away with not a contact there.
Agree. Go over the top, good option. And well done by Lob. Unfortunately a replay call, but that was good play in the sense Lob directed Humphreys to the front, to sweep front, and in doing so was able to open Davis up. That's what I've been calling for. That's what I want to see. Some sort of movement where we're working together to open one of the shooters up. As we see Queensland storm down the court.
Okay, we've got a new shooter on in Jared Thompson. On for Zach Dunphy.
As we see, Zamet hit the deck and 12-20. So that's a South Australian centre pass back.
Got a convert button now. You just got to really take those chances when they come along.
And that's a nicely placed ball.
So Jared will offer. A good, strong hold. Plays keeper, so understands the fundamentals of that big hold.
And even as he's holding now, you can see he's got his shoulders angled to the, they were angled to the post. They're angling there.
I'd like him to turn his shoulders there, just to open up the ball, so it gives you more space. Just trying to bring in that baseline option as they drop the ball out. Nice 2 goals in a row there from Queensland.
And we see a change in the South Australian lineup. So we've got Jesse Robinson into the goal attack. So this is Jesse's first year. So maybe Jesse might offer that sweeping ability. You don't want to be standing there holding when you've got Alec Davis on a 2-on-1. You want to be the mover, Robinson. Yeah. But Davis puts that shot through. So interesting to see this dynamic as he works himself into the game. Probably a good move. Probably needed something a bit different, even though they are up and you don't need to change a winning formula all the time. But good practice as we get into the final rounds. And the layup just falls short, but collects and scores. So not pulling away too far, South Australia. Queensland just hanging around.
No, we're in the contest, Mark. We're in the contest, and they can just convert those turnovers that they are getting, because they're certainly getting enough to keep it interesting. And
right there, we saw Davis. It didn't sink, but again, we saw Robinson drive and sweep into the front space. Great hands over there to get that one back, and Davis apply a screen. So already, that change in terms of the movement is working, and we're seeing a bit more structure in that circle. So nice deep drive. Newchurch hits the floor.
He'll give that ball.
A lot of hands in there. That had to be obstruction. And lovely. So Queensland just needing to score here. So 15 goals, volume. They're starting to get that volume up. Just looking at results, I'm not sure. I haven't been following Queensland, Davin. You might have a bit of a better idea, but how is their volume going in games? Are they
around about the 40 to 45 goals from what I've seen?
Okay.
So, you know, you're talking about 10, 11 goals a quarter. I think you need to be up to the 13, 14, 15.
Yeah. I certainly with my 17s, I said if we can score 50 goals, certainly the 17s level. 50 goals, you won't lose too many games. So in the lead up, that was sort of one of our metrics that we looked at. 12 goals a quarter, 15-minute quarter in all our practice matches in preparation. As we see another change, so we've seen Tyson Jerry, who started in that wing attack position, being rolled into centre. Jalen Newchurch to the bench for a break, as we see a very smart shooter to shoot a pass around the post. However, just the soft hands there. Need to rip that in. It's one thing I've noticed the umpires are demanding of the players. Not that they demand things of players, but they're not calling those soft touches on the hands. You really need to rip that ball in and own it.
Do you think that's been a directive from the umpires coordinator effectively for that?
I think so, yeah, but regardless of whether it is or not, I like it.
Yeah.
You know, take the ball strong, and you know, it's at a national men's. I'd expect that to happen. I mean, we'd expect it at Suncorp Super, and I know sometimes in some of the competitions that these guys play back home.
Lovely follow by Davis.
You know, we've got some very good umpires here. Maybe not. Maybe that standard isn't always there consistently for men's league games back home. So really important for the players to adjust. And of course, depending where the state of the umpires, sometimes, you know, I've always found, even at schoolgirls level, which I coach, certainly when we go to Victoria and play some games, the umpiring can be a bit different, and they pick up things, and of course New Zealanders as well. As we see Zamet get a hand in there.
Yeah, put the split circle there, I did see, and just got the hand out. Schmar missed an opportunity with Thompson holding for a double screen effectively there, so the ball could have been popped over.
Oh, nice. A nice rebound by the shortest guy in the circle there. Always love it when that happens.
Two hands to the ball, but gets the call. Nice transition from South Oz.
Absolutely. That ball being dropped, so South Australian players getting the contact call. Just need to be careful not to run on top of each other. A nice front split there, and lovely. Oh, watch that back foot. That was close, but play on. Davis collects his rebounds, and
Davis missing a few more than you would think normally, but he is getting his own rebounds. So
and that's the beauty of him. He follows his shot. He's tall. He elevates. A younger guy. He's only about 25 or so. Was picked in our 23s team a couple of years ago and came up into men's reserves last year. So as that rounds out our second quarter, and at halftime we have South Australia 27 leading Queensland by 15 in this round 9 men's reserves game. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.
Having a pretty good season this year, Andy.
By the look of this lot, you are too.
Well, we've got a good team out in the field. You want to go meet them?
Sure. So what do you grow here?
We've got broccolis, collies over there, carrots, you name it. We harvest it today, catch. And it's in the stores tomorrow.
So you guys are the midfielders of the fruit and veg?
At Spot Shed, we grow it.
We sell it, you save.
Giving this season everything we've got. Just try and stop us. Don't miss the excitement of West Coast Fever at RAC Arena. Tickets on sale now at ticketek.com.au. Giving this season everything we've got. Just try and stop us. Don't miss the excitement of West Coast Fever at RAC Arena. Tickets on sale now at ticketek.com.au.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Bendat Basketball Stadium. My name is Mark Gorham. Joining me is Davin Hunt as we are about to get started for the third quarter of this Round 9 Men's Reserves matchup here on Court 3. Quite a few changes, certainly for the Queensland team. It seems the bibs have flown like confetti there at half-time. Davin, run us through some changes as we see one with Griffin in coming back on in wing defence.
Yes, we've still got Joe Thompson, goal shooter, and James Smart. That attack was at the last point of the quarter. We've got Day back on at wing attack. Timmy O'Rourke in centre. Pat Griffin back on wing defence. Stacey Adams has gone to goal defence. And Colby Sturgis probably back in the more traditional keeper role for us.
As we just see South Australia score their first centre pass. Ask for the ball up in the air. And
just that little polish that we're missing at the moment.
Well, not much talking there, and they leave the ball behind to Jerry, who looks long. South Australia flying down the court. Now, well done by Griffin. Unfortunately, just on the second attempt, contact on the ball, clarifies with the umpire. And ball straight in by lob to Davis, who, as reliable as ever, slots the goal.
Any changes from South Australia there, Mark, that I can see?
No, it looks like it's the same 7 who ended the second quarter. As we see Searle just control that eventually. Jerry into the pocket, and then this shorter goal attack option with the slice and a great shooter-to-shooter pass. As we see Davis finish off. So great to see. Davis will be used to them, having played with me for a year. I tell him if I shoot more than 10 in a game, that's too much for my liking.
10?
10 in a game, no more. I'm a goal assist, not a goal attack.
Well, that's what the GA bib says. And we're going to stick by that.
And lovely opening there by Queensland just to swing the ball in shooting position. Unfortunately, not finishing here. And as we see Zamet drive out the far side, both Searle and Jerry into the midcourt, but Jerry's out now. Probably could have given that the first time, but got there eventually. We see Robinson and Lobb running into similar spacing.
Nice work there by Davis, just holding off Sturgis.
And well done on getting front position there, Robinson. So we'll see another shot on goal here. Davis just a bit off his shot there. Unsure what that call was, but there'll be another shot on goal. A pass only maybe. And there we go, we see the defender coming around, well done. And the drive out. Now I'd love to see Queensland, that's a risky ball back up in the air. But I'd love to see Queensland convert this to get themselves back in the game. First give options are there.
Yeah, and they just got to give them first. Nice reset there by Paddy.
He's
offside.
His foot was off, but unfortunately Robinson's whole body was. And we see Spur getting the contact call. Must score this, and they have.
We have had a change of umpire. Brooke Quilto's no longer running the sideline here. Rhiannon Turton has come on, so unless there's maybe a niggling injury from Brooke. We don't often see that with umpires, but they are doing. We know the players are sore. We know the coaches are mentally exhausted, but the umpires are umpiring 2-3 games a day, so also requiring a lot of physical energy and mental energy too. So they're doing a great job. Nice back space option there from Tim O'Rourke into Thompson.
And we see O'Rourke after that goal, just a little fist pump, just trying to pump his team, get him up and about. It is 14 goals the difference. It doesn't need to be done in 5 minutes, but they have got a bit of time, but they need to get moving. So
you can put 14 on him in one, you can lose 14 and a half. So.
Correct, and we see that little shooter-to-shooter pass working lovely, getting him to the post. That was defending off court or obstruction, take your pick. And
either one would have sufficed, I think.
And we see Queensland restarting here.
Smart comes out, doesn't give the option to Thompson, and then forces South Australia forcing us to go backwards, which is where we're letting ourselves down a touch at this stage.
Good hold. And the contact call there on Zamet. Up in the air, nice shot, and that one sinks. So going goal for goal, we see a change into the centre position for Queensland right now.
Matt Bibo has come back in at centre.
Natural position for him. I do remember him more so as a defender, but
yeah, wing defence centre I think is our best option, but he can play anywhere from wing defence through to goal attack.
yeah, okay. So Queensland patient, resetting, which is good.
Nice little two-person play there to get the ball back.
Just struggling a bit with their depth onto circle edge here. It's taking it's patient passes, and that's fine. Thompson shuffling back. Smart play. Umpire just resetting that to where the penalty should have been.
Ooh.
Oh, Zama unlucky,
Yeah.
perhaps.
He's going to hit that on the fadeaway out of court. Lovely.
Didn't know if he was laying up or maybe going off the post, or he was doing something. Anyway, end result goal.
I find that we're just maybe pushing our balls into the circle via a bit too much height. We're actually just bringing Spur and Zach into the game down there.
Absolutely. So we see nice hands over there by Adams to get that intercept. So maybe this is the spark Queensland need. So we see Sturgis looking long and driving that into the middle.
Nice, there it is. And reset it back if you need to.
And that's a nice long ball. It's rare that you get away with that over Spur, but if it's on and the space is there, let's do it.
I think Thompson pushed him just far enough in the circle to give himself 8 or 9 feet there.
It was a hold high. A high hold. It's been a long 5 days. So just this one here, the goal attack for Queensland. He's hanging around that transverse line. And I know we're looking for that long feed in, but he's in now.
So we've got not a natural goal attack,
Okay.
James. So understanding the space is probably where he needs to be looking for down the track if he wants to continue playing there.
Just needs to punch in. As we see Thompson and Spur battle for position. Good contest. Contact called though. Spur just arching his body a little bit. Thompson staying that little bit more upright. So
umpire noticing probably the more unnatural position out of the two.
yep. Oh, the jump shot misses, but collects a rebound and goal is scored. So put this back a bit. 21-33 here as we approach the halfway mark of the third quarter in this men's reserves matchup.
Luke Miles back on as goal defence here.
Great contest there. Spilling to Jerry, who has nowhere to go, and we get the turnover.
Hey, what if
So
they-
Queensland,
if we can string these 2 goals together here, making a game of it with 12 up at the moment, South Australia. You bring that back to 10, maybe bring it down to 8 by three-quarter time. It'd be very well deserved, I think, from Queensland if they could do that.
unfortunately, South Australia just not controlling that one, and Queensland there. Oh, that was a very loopy option, just coming through a bit late. Just got to watch that, make sure we're not standing still in that middle corridor.
Luke Miles' first nationals as well as goal defence. So
Oh, Zamet blocking that front drive. Unfortunately, obstruction called.
Schmar's going to pass.
Offensive contact called on Thompson there.
Just battling for position. Nice there. James Schmar, nice hands. Good hands over pressure from James. Bibo hit the circle there.
He's slow and steady, Bibo. He's always getting circle edge, which is great. And we see the contact there. Just shows that centre position doesn't need to be the quickest one, but just needs to be the smartest one. So doing a great job there of just controlling it. And I feel a big reason why Queensland have just etching their way back into this game. Still a fair way to go as we see Thompson slot another. So 22-33 as we...
Queensland centre pass here to bring it back to 10. Nice touch there by Zamet.
And keeps it in, but no, not in.
Out of court.
Have to excuse us at home. We've got a railing in front of us, so I actually can't see that pocket of the court.
Bibo looking for an option there.
Oh, all three running into the same space.
Yep.
Oh, and giving that away. That's an unforced error there.
Yeah.
And we see the long option into lob. It's been a while since South Australia have scored a goal. I feel like I haven't called one for a few minutes, so must convert here. Queensland just hands on.
I'm happy with that at this stage, Mark, just so you know.
That's great. And we see a change here. So Searle coming off and replaced back into that wing defence position by Steve McInnes. So Steve getting his rest. And coming back on,
See Aaron Edmonds as your assistant coach over there.
Azza, my old teammate, he is. So
I was surprised when I walked in that he wasn't playing this year because, he's a bloody good shooter.
so I still maintain Aaron's. I've played with some great shooters. Aaron's got to be up there as one. Fantastic target, just great movement, very nimble mover. Fantastic to see him work with a relatively inexperienced goal shooting circle in this team. So we might see Aaron put on the Dragons uniform again. I'm hoping so.
Hopefully a little fire under him today. You're a long time retired, I say.
Yeah, that's I'm hearing that a bit. But yeah, so Aaron, there's certainly a couple back.
Too soon,
possibly. There's a couple back at home. So hello, Reese Herder, if you're tuned in. I know you're good friends with Aaron as well. Who knows? Maybe we'll see the old boys back together one day.
Nice play by Colby Sturgis. Comes out of the circle, has a crack. Luke Miles fills the space behind, gets his hand on the cork. Nice to see it actually working in a bit of continuity there, which is great.
So we wait for this ball to be retrieved from what seems like court 26 over there. We got it back eventually.
Paddy Griffin going for the academy there on the outside of the circle.
Paddy, we'll talk about that one.
Colby just got himself in the wrong position there.
Yeah.
Back to the play.
Probably the worst position to feel like as a keeper when your other defender's out of play and you've got a solid target. You just got to move those feet. So 36-23, brought it back a bit, but still hovering around that 13-goal margin.
Yeah, Queensland had it back to. It was going to be if they scored, it was going to be 10 goals. They've settled. McInnes comes on, makes an instant impact.
Yeah. Doesn't do the flashy stuff, just does everything well. Solid contributor. He's got a lot of experience in the game, and yeah, I know last Nationals he played over 100. He got to his 125th cap for South Australia.
That's awesome. That's so good. And that's just outdoor, probably.
That is just outdoor. So that's 125 games for South Australia. Probably by the end of this tournament, he'll be close to 140. So nearing that 150.
Oh, unlucky there by Schmar. I think he's got a foot offside to get that. Or just a contact.
Just received a text message during the game whilst he was on the bench by Steve McInnes. So he's just doing everything here. He's directing traffic. He's directing me, the president of our association. No, he sent a message to say a good thing, and I'm really happy to give Matt Spur, our goalkeeper, a shout out. I just mentioned Steve has played over 125 games. Matt Spur, this is his 25th game for South Australia. So a bit of a tradition we recognise in South Australia, the milestone games, as we see that layup shot go in. Recognise the milestone games, so at 25 games, certainly at 50 is recognised with a plaque, having received one myself last Nationals. And then at obviously 100 being the next significant one. So Matt Spur, congratulations, 25 games.
I would like to know from going back, because I played the 90s.
Yep.
So 6 or 7, 8 Nationals back then. So it was interesting. We should look into that, sort of those milestone games. So
Yeah.
I don't know how many I would have played. So.
Couple of awesome little traditions we do in South Australia. So it's the milestone games. So all games are recorded, and plaques presented at Nationals. So I know there's one, possibly two in this team that are close to 50. If not this tournament, definitely the next one, provided they keep playing. And there's a couple that aren't far off 25. Obviously Matt's hit it. So Matt's come through. Open Mix was his first year, was selected into the Open Men's squad for the COVID years. As we see, Zamet doing a great job of moving the feet around the body to confuse that space. Unfortunately, just not quite.
And I did think he was going to take the shot for a very short second.
Yeah. So Matt Spur coming through Open Mix, spent some time in the Open Men's, and last year has been a solid contributor to the men's reserves.
Stalwart of South Australian netball. It's good to see.
Yeah. And another tradition we've implemented, which is great, is the player numbers as well. So if you see the red polo walkout shirts of the South Australians, they'll have a number. Mine doesn't, because I'm not here as a player this year, but certainly in order of
Is that just for in the open division, or is it pretty much through every division that you're doing?
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see an opens. I don't know whether the numbers may be a different colour or something to recognise that, because that's the height of our game. But no, as soon as you wear a South Australian uniform, whether it be anywhere from 17s, 20s, 23s, through to the mix, through to our men's divisions, that you're assigned your number. So nice little tradition.
I know that we have our legacy singlets for our opens.
Okay.
Up to about 78, 9 players now in the open space for the Suns.
And I wouldn't mind seeing that, something of a similar note when you take the court as an opens player. I think that's worth celebrating. Yeah,
you'll see those legacy singlets with the field boys. I'll walk into them sometimes. They do their warm-ups in them sometimes as well. So it's a great tradition.
Great. So that's the end of our third quarter here at Bendat Basketball Stadium. We have the South Australian men's reserves, 38, leading Queensland 27. Stay tuned for our last quarter. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our fourth and final quarter of this men's reserve division game. This is game 9 of the tournament, a big game for finals. We have South Australia leading 38-27. Queensland did win that last quarter. Some really good changes that had an effect. Obviously, now with 15 minutes to go, really need to get a move on. But the signs were certainly good as we see that swing ball well kept in as he collides with a bin off court. O'Rourke, I believe that is.
That is O'Rourke.
He's back on now. And he's going to receive, contact called. Takes out the bin on court 4 in the background and is there. So straight away, within 20 seconds, we've got a change in wing attack.
Just want Stacey Adams to shoot that one there. You've got the other player out of play. You don't want to bring the other person who's actually out of play back into the fold. But I'd like to proudly mention, if I can, Mark, that we're Queensland Sun proudly supported by Future Gen Results Physiotherapy and Game Clothing this year. Without our sponsors in our fledgling game that we have, well, not fledgling technically, but
Well, the reality is we are we are amateur. None of
exactly
these
right.
players are being paid, and certainly a lot of hours go into what they do. I mean, our state league girls are certainly paid back home in our state leagues. The men not quite there yet, but certainly on the there's potential there in the future with pathways, and we see those great pathways happening across the states and some of the leagues that are being created. So just some changes for South Australia after that break, as we see that little shoot, almost shoot at a shooter, could have been short, but wasn't. He held on to it. So we see Tyson Gary coming back into wing attack.
Yeah, Ryan Freestone back on for Queensland here in the keeper position.
I must apologise to Tyson. I've pronounced his name slightly wrong, and I shouldn't have. I've a teammate of his for a while. I have been informed.
It is Gary. It's Gary. I had
with
asked
a G, not a J. So, Tice, we're pronouncing it to the world. And thank you to those at home for kindly informing me, reminding me of something I should definitely already know. So, apologies.
Just stay off my phone during these games, because sometimes I think it's a bit more hassle than it's worth sometimes. Just stay correct.
So as we see Queensland here, so still at that 11-goal margin. No one coming to the ball, very close to a held ball.
There it was. Andrew doing a lot of work out there.
A lot of work in that middle third, finally penetrating into that attacking third. A lot of passes to work, but they've used the patience and a lovely little dribble back. Jeff Zammit will be onto them. He knows exactly how to defend them. However, well done by Thompson, using that goal line to protect the ball as it rolls towards the post.
I'd like to see Stacey Adams step up and shoot this one. He's going to make that very difficult on himself.
I'm sure he's very close to the post. Just pop the shot up. That's the job of when you're getting a shot that close. Okay.
Nice pocket there by Gary. Sorry. Just thought I'd rub it in a bit.
He will remind me, so I'm sure he'll remind me. And we see circle line. There's into space. Freestone just getting caught a bit on the body coming round.
Nice little touch there by Miles. I don't mind the Freestone change because he will give you everything. About 6'3" in the old scale.
Very solid, very physical. Yep.
It's a dangerous ball.
They're going high into circles. Oh, Spur all over that. A bit of a split came out. Zammit took the shooter, and Spur cutting that lateral ball off. So
a lot of movement from the circle there from our shooters.
No. And a nice baseline drive there by Robinson. Sticks that leg and gets really close to the post. So fantastic drive.
Looks like a change coming up from Queensland.
Colby Sturgis back into centre. So both middies just getting in each other's way a bit there, driving into the same space. And good shooter to shooter there. This is his range, Davis. Of course, I put the mockers on him, but follows really strongly. Comes around the post. And now has the hold. Just got a hold.
Yeah, nice
well done.
work there by Robinson. He knew which one.
He knew his foot, yep. And then we see, just got to be a bit more definite. The idea was there. And goal scored.
He just needs to wait for Davis to do a bit more setup prior to that. Stacey Adams making himself a nice target down there.
Absolutely.
He's enjoying the physicality of the match. He won't take a backward step, which is great. Just needs to find that quick ball into the shoot.
Oh, gains control there. So South Australia just need to value the ball. They don't need to do this in a hurry. They've got a commanding 12-goal lead. We don't need to score erratic. Oh, Sturgis almost interrupting that play. We just need to be patient here. Lucky for that obstruction.
Away the unnecessary obstruction when Freestone has the ball in his hands. Now, so we've been going goal for goal effectively since half-time. 13-goal margin at the moment. Queensland having a bit of second phase issue, I think. But Williams doing a fantastic job there. Nice swing ball.
So
Adams picks
there's
it
a
up.
lot of work for
Yeah.
not a lot of distance ground. Now we get there. He's going for the long shot. We haven't really hit them this game, so
No, he's been a bit off target. I've been watching a couple. I only arrived last night, so I've been watching a couple on Clutch TV over the course of the last few days. He's been shooting the ball nicely, but it's not been coming off the hand in this game for him at the moment.
bit of fatigue. Oh, good strong take by Griffin.
A few errant passes there in the attack space there from South Australia there.
And that's not what they want. They just need to maintain their centre pass. They don't need to score in a hurry. As we see the step in, could have been contact there, but the game's allowed to play on.
There, Spur come in beautifully.
A lot allowed to happen there. We don't mind that. Now we have seen a change here. So we've got Josh Bradbrook into the wing defence position, giving Steve McInnes a spell. As we see, possibly an off.
He has more time off than Steve does. He has more time off than you and I this week.
He's a busy man. He's commentating a lot as well. So there's a fair bit going on. Freestone, not quite.
Only a short spurt this one, so he's not sucking in as much this time, which is good.
No, he's not coaching. Normally he's... Oh, was he Davis getting hands to that?
The ball work there by Davis.
Well done.
And gives himself a lovely round of applause.
As Freestone urges his teammates to come forward to the ball. No, normally McInnes is coaching, he's playing, and, just a bit of commentating on the side. This year it's just a couple of things. And is obviously the Vice President of the Australian Men's and Mixed Netball Association as well. So, busy week for him as we get Sturgis resetting us here. So 13 goals, just broken a bit here, South Australia's. We've broken.
Ball again. It's a tough ball again.
Oh, just that one going up, and
he's going to get bailed out by an obstruction call from Bradbrook. Hit the circle edge, boys. Good things happen when you get to the circle's edge.
Oh, ball going to no one in particular, so a turnover, and we just sort of see as we enter the last 6-7 minutes of this game, just get a little bit scrappy, a little bit messy as umpire calls time. Ball retrieved from the New South Wales physio bench there.
Yeah, it's been an interesting second half. I think that it's Michael O'Brien. Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Michael O'Brien. Just running a few of his combinations here, allowing maybe his players to have some rest, which is good coming into potential semi-final matchup tomorrow.
A lot of work happening there. Would have liked to see Davis just pop forward. Unfortunately, that ball going out of play. So when Robinson's in the pocket and gives that to a feeder on the circle edge, if Davis is not double teamed, he needs to pop, and Robinson on his baseline drive.
Davis straight back into a zone type defence there.
Oh, that's in the air.
And he got the ball he was after.
Oh,
that ball going to be under the post.
That ball we just about caught that up there. I reckon that pass almost brought snow from up here. So we see Dumphy taking his time getting back on court. Umpire not falling for that. Oh, Freestone comes out to have a go. Well done.
Well done, mate. Well done by Ryan Freestone there. Yeah, it's been goal for goal effectively in the second half, but I do think that that Michael's been able to run a few combinations and get some time on court for some players late in the tournament. Some weary bodies, some weary legs.
Absolutely. So it sets up an interesting final series. I feel like in this competition, Victoria have always dominant, as you'd expect. And Davis again follows that shot. Must turn and block. He's been doing that all game.
But I must admit, last year's New South Wales team,
that was a surprise.
They were fairly yeah, they were good.
Frustrating thing against them is we actually beat them by a couple of goals and then they won the whole thing. So can you believe that? And it's happened to me twice the last time I've played this division. I think in 2018 we beat Victoria by a goal in the rounds and they ended up winning the whole thing. So we'll see what happens this year. Victoria do appear to be a clear standout. ACT also doing well, so great to see good things happening there. Always respect the smaller states. As long as it's not the big three, I'm kind of... it helps, and I guess South Australia, we kind of sit in the middle there. but yeah, ACT very very surprising, but fantastic to see. And then after that, it's a logger jam. So this will certainly put South Australia in the definitely in either third or fourth position, pending other results. With looking likely to play Tasmania, all results going well and to plan. Although I believe there's a couple of teams that could contest. I think New South Wales and I think Queensland are the other one locked on same amount of points or thereabouts. It obviously won't be Queensland after the result of this game, but stay tuned.
I think we were a couple of points behind on the ladder. So. But I just noticed Spur having a well-deserved rest after taking the intercept down there, and the goalkeeper
is
Mark
Adrian Tahorse, so new to this team last year. Has always been around sort of the traps here and there, but learning a bit about the game, and certainly defence has improved. Has got big hands over. Lovely shot indeed. Unfortunately, too little, too late at this point. As
3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Straight direct play. I've been missing that, but that's good. Been liking Williams's drive. Unfortunately, there's a lot of physicality on there as we see Tahorse going up to contact that one. Dunphy has a look at him. I'd suggest if you're going to step in, it's going to be contested.
It's going to be a contest.
Yeah.
He might only play about 10 minutes to Horse in this game, but he might come off with Zach there, feeling like he's played about a half.
No doubt.
Patient build up here by South Australia.
So just need a punch through. We're going sight, always going to happen.
That's just going to be play.
Contact. Unfortunately, going wide channel to wide channel and laterally up in the air always gives the opposition a chance to cut that one off, and that's what's happened. So just needing maybe a shooter to punch out the circle on that last play just to relieve the pressure. There's the contest again. Oh. And a bit of back and forth between Dunphy and Tahorse.
Just letting him know that he's on court.
As
a minute and a half to go. The score's out to 15. I think South Australia have been certainly in control for effectively 3/4 of the game.
Absolutely, and I just think the volume of Queensland early on, just not able to put the score on the board in those first couple of quarters. They've hit a rhythm now, but as we see, nice touch there by Bradbrook, collected by goal attack, and we see a contest there and goal scored. Players just getting confused there, thinking it's a
offensive call. And
it's a bit of heat here. We just need to calm down. It's only a minute to go.
Yes, there's a bit of spiciness coming into it, a bit of niggle. He's done a nice bit of work there on Dunphy as he's come on.
Definitely has. Do we need punching into the middle? Well done.
Brought an energy to that position. I'm not saying that Spur didn't. Spur just did his job masterfully all game. I think he's enjoying his time on court here.
As we're approaching last 30 seconds, it is South Australia with a 14-goal lead here. And backspace there. Well done by Davis dropping into that, and goal scored. So 15-goal margin. Game sort of hovered in that 10 to 15 goal once it did get out in the second quarter. So it's been a pretty even last half. Nice look away. Well, I was going to say nice look away path.
I was going to say the same thing.
Unfortunately, my depth perception has let me down. But last 5 seconds of the game here.
Queensland have been in and about today, but South Australia just too good with a 50 to 35 win.
Yeah. So thank you very much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. It's the South Australian boys getting the win today over a Queensland team. Hotly contested reserves division. Davin, thank you very much for joining us.
No, thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure. Finally got here, which is great, but enjoy the rest of the weeks and your 17s that you're coaching.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for our next match.